to State of Africa. I'm sitting here with Nkazimulo Zuma from KwaZulu-Natal.
Yes.
So, Nkazi, I'll just call you Nkazi. Okay, so Nkazi inherited a special inheritance. While some of us would want to inherit money, she inherited like the ultimate inheritance. Okay, Nkazimulo inherited being a sangoma. This is something that she has struggled with ever since she got to know about it, because it's not really something that she wanted to do with her life. So I think my first question to you would be, when did you discover that you were the chosen one in the family?
I discovered in my early teens, around 13.
Oh my God.
I would really fall sick, like continuously, and until at some point, you know, when we tried all doctors, because we are a very traditional family, my parents decided, no, maybe we should also take the traditional route. And the traditional route would be consulting a sangoma. My mom did know. I think I'm the only person who didn't know. But then when we consulted a sangoma, it was confirmed. And that's when I discovered that.
And you were 13 years old?
Yes, I was 13 years old.
Wow. How did you take that?
It wasn't easy. It's still not. I really try not to think about it much. But it wasn't easy. Like, I honestly still don't believe that I really do have the calling. Because honestly, if my mom was able to go on about her life despite having the calling, I honestly believe maybe I can also.
Yeah, you could also do that. Okay, I think my question is, when you were sick, you went to the doctors. So when you went the traditional route, did you get healed?
I wouldn't exactly say I got healed. It's always only for a short while, but they do make it known that at some point I really have to end up accepting the calling. They tell me that despite whatever herbs they're going to give me for a short while to help me, I cannot exactly run away from the calling.
Okay, so with the doctors, you'd go to the doctor, you'd never get well until you went the traditional route. They gave you something and you felt much better.
Yes.
But it's temporary.
It is really temporary, but it will make some difference.
So the only way you're going to stop is when you
accept the calling. That is the only way.
Wow. What kind of sickness was this?
At some point, I almost removed. It's normally the teeth. I almost removed all of them because honestly, at home we would all think, no, maybe it's and I remove one in 1 week, and then I have to remove another the following week, and then another the next week.
God.
Until we solve that. No, this is getting out of hand. Because most of the time, when the ancestors are trying to say something, they do use your teeth because that's how you talk, and at some point it will get to the point where they talk through you, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how it went basically.
Okay. All right, Nkazimulo is 19 years old. She's a UCT student. She's very smart. She's currently studying a Bachelor of Environmental and Geological Science. And that's something that I would have wanted to study if I didn't like cameras. Okay, so now you're studying this and it's science, and it's already in conflict with your calling. So how do you deal with that?
In all honesty, right now I'm really trying to focus on my studies, and I try not to think about it much, but every time I do consult sangomas, they tell me that at some point I'm going to have to address this issue. And every time I fall sick, my mom tries and tells the ancestors that no, they need to wait for me to be done with school first. So
do they want you to go to school?
No, they do not want me to go to school. But my mom tries and talks to them and reassures them that no, I'm going to do what they want me to do, but let me get an education first.
Wow.
So it really is in conflict.
Wow. So what kind of life would you want to lead?
Well, in this century and day and age we're living in, we all just really want to get an education, get a job, start up a business, travel the world, and I guess I'm a typical person like that. And honestly, this calling was never exactly in my cards.
Yeah.
And that's the type of life I would like to lead. You know, a really normal life.
So what is it like being at school? And you have, oh, she's my sister's roommate at UCT. Yeah, you have all those people around you, all those students that are planning this, they want to get married, they want to have babies, they want to travel, and then there you are, you're sitting with this weight over your shoulder.
As I said, I try not to think about it. I'd like to think that I'm actually normal as well. For a few minutes, I may also find myself immersed in that, you know, thinking maybe I also want that, but then the reality still is that, because most of the time, the ancestors, if you have this calling, they don't exactly want you to get married and have a family, because they want their own special attention.
They don't want you to get married and have a family.
Yes, because they need a special attention, like you need to focus on them.
Oh, wow.
So, at some point I know reality hits me that no, that's not going to be my life exactly.
Wow. All right, we're going to take a commercial break and then we'll come back and chat some more with Nkazimulo. Welcome back to State of Africa, where I'm sitting with Nkazimulo Zuma, and we're just talking about her special inheritance. So Nkazi, I just want to find out, when you first discovered this, did you guys go to different sangomas to ask if, to get a second opinion?
I would say we did, because our family and friends are very welcoming of the idea of sangoma. So if we go to one sangoma, and most of my family and relatives know about this calling of mine. So they would sometimes call my mom up and say, oh, I have a suggestion. You guys can go and check out this sangoma at this place. And then we would drive and go there to get a second opinion. And then all more or less say the same thing. So it was really easy for us to conclude that then it must be all true.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. And you say your mom tries to speak to the ancestors. Okay, she doesn't try. She actually speaks to the ancestors, and then she just tells them that you're still young, you're still growing up. How does she do that?
Yes, she does. Well, it normally just entails her speaking to the incense, because we believe that that is how we connect with them. And in all honesty, most of the time it works.
Okay.
Yes, it does work when she speaks to them through that. Because even when we do go to the sangomas, they do use incense as well to connect to the ancestors.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I think I would like to know, like, how does your family take it? Are they supportive? Do they encourage you?
I would say they are supportive. I'm not sure if they encourage it though, because every time I get sick, we all just try our best to make sure that I get better, like whatever we have to do. So I would say they are very supportive of it, yes. Because when it happens, we all just try.
Was everyone shocked?
I wouldn't say so, because it's a really, really common thing.
Oh.
It's a common thing not only in our family, in almost every family. So I do not think they were shocked, no.
Oh, wow. Okay. And have you experienced any challenges with other students at school because of this calling?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's not something I talk about.
Openly?
Openly, no. And even if I did speak about it, I don't think I'd experience any challenges, because it's really common. It's just always about how you deal with it, but it really is common. So I think I'd get more support than anything.
Yeah. You talked about how the ancestors wouldn't want you to get married and have kids. Is it something that bothers you?
No, it actually does not bother me at all because, despite all of that, marriage has never really been an appealing idea to me.
He's still
So,
19. He'll grow into it.
oh, I really hope not. Yes, so it really does not bother me, but I guess in this day and age, people are family orientated, so
Yeah.
it kind of bothers me the fact that they are getting so much of control over my life. Yes, I think that would be the only thing that would be bothering me right now.
Do you believe in this tradition? Like our African culture, when you are in your position, the position that you are in right now, is it possible for you to say, oh no, this is just, I don't know, fiction or something, and you go on with your life without?
Honestly, I believe that if people tell themselves that they don't believe in something, it doesn't bother them. Like they can live their lives freely. But at home, we are a very traditional family, and as a result, I really, truly, and honestly do believe in all of these things. So I guess that is why it's affecting me because I do believe in it. Yes.
Oh wow! And when it comes to church, do you go to church?
Yes, I do go to church, and my church is also very traditional.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
it is.
How can a church be traditional?
It is traditional in the sense that despite the fact that we pray to God, we
Okay,
also...
I'm sure with us sisters we also talk to God. It's just with church, I think the difference is you have to go through Jesus.
Yeah.
With our tradition, you have to go through the ancestors. So with your church, how do you?
We also go through the ancestors with our church. Yes, we burn the
Oh,
incense,
wow.
we slaughter animals for sacrifice. Our church leader is also like a prophet, so it is very traditional in that sense.
Okay, so it's not a modern church. It's not a Christian church.
I wouldn't but we do read the Bible, so in some sense it is, but I wouldn't say it's a modern church. No.
I'm confused. Are you in a relationship, and does this calling affect it?
Right now I'm really trying to focus on my studies.
You're 19. Should be having fun.
No, I'm trying to focus on my studies and not think about most things. Yes, because I think that's what also affects me at some point. So I'm honestly just trying to put my studies first.
Have you ever dated?
No, because of church, religion. It totally forbids.
Okay, which church do you go to?
It's Nazareth Baptist Church.
Nazareth, Jerusalem, Baptist, and you do ancestors in church?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, where do I find this church? Okay, so now your church doesn't believe in dating. And okay, what is it like?
I wouldn't exactly say that. Let me see. They have like these really strict rules that we must follow at all times. It's not that it doesn't believe in it. As young girls, we're taught to grow up, and when we reach a certain stage, we must get married. Before that, we do everything in honestly the cultural and traditional way that they used to do back then. How a guy will woo a girl, but won't approach her, will send other people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we do everything like that. So before you get married, you don't have much contact with the guy until you guys get married, and after that, it's very, very cultural. So
I'm thinking
you must not have exactly dated before. It's just when he sees you amongst girls and he says, okay, I want that one, and then you guys can just start arranging marriage.
Okay, but do you have to like the guy back, Or you can just say, I want that one, and then it's a done deal.
Back then you can just say, I want that one, I guess, and then it's a done deal. But now,
You have a choice.
If you're not exactly comfortable, you honestly do have a choice of not agreeing to the marriage.
You know what? You make me feel like we are in 1900 or something. I'm thinking this is 2019. And most 19-year-olds I know are busy living. They are, I don't know, when I was 19, I don't even know what I was doing. Well, I was in college as well. But this is, wow. So do you feel like you live a normal life? You're surrounded by students that are, I don't know, that are busy, like very, very busy. And
well, I know I'll always be different. When I left home, my mom reminded me that I'm not like anyone else.
wow.
In terms of my religion, of course. So I need to always remember that. So despite being amongst other students, I try by all means not to forget where I come from, which still means living by strict rules.
Okay. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking if I were in your shoes and I didn't like the position that I'm in, I'd probably just pack my bags and cross the border or go across the ocean. Have you ever thought of that? Or what happens if you do?
Maybe I've thought of being born in a completely different family and a different circumstances. But no, it never got to that point. Because in all honesty, I love tradition and culture. And I appreciate it. Despite I don't exactly agree with some of its factors, but I don't think I'd pack my things and go, no.
Okay, but if you do, does it like follow you and then you get sick wherever you are?
It does, yes it does.
Oh,
because as I said, I still do believe in that. If you really, really believe in something, then it will follow you. But if you really try to get it out of your mind and tell yourself, no, this does not exist, no, there's no such thing, then it won't exactly affect you. That's what I believe in personally. So since I do believe so much in culture, I feel like if I did have to just try and turn my back on it, yeah, it will really affect me somehow.
Okay, what do you think would be the worst thing that will ever happen if you decide that, no, this is not for me and I'm not going to do it?
I may just probably die or be seriously injured.
So this is like your purpose in life?
Basically it is, because since I said I believe so much in culture and tradition. It is also believed that ancestors are really, really powerful. So most of the time, if they don't have their way, then they can do a lot of things just to make sure that things go according to what they want.
Oh, wow. Do you think you ever get to a point where you're like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to do it with my whole heart. I'm going to give it my all.
I think maybe at some point it will happen. I think that will be if I'm having like a series of bad luck, because basically it usually means that, they want something from me. Maybe then I'll just accept and just do it.
Do you feel like you're living your life for someone? You're not in control of your life. You'd want to do other things, but it's like you're being pulled to doing other things.
Now that I think of it, maybe. It's just that most of the time I try not to think about it. So I actually find myself being normal. Yes, as I said, unless I start getting sick, then I remember that, it's still bad.
Well, I'm thinking such a young girl with so much responsibility. I don't know what I would have done if I was in your shoes, honestly. I would have probably, ran away, went somewhere. Changed my surname.
Because if I had to do that, when I come back, I'd kind of be in a lot of trouble. There's so many things. I'll have to slaughter so many animals, ask for forgiveness for doing all of that. So I guess I'd rather just stay and go through it.
It's funny that it's 2019 and those things are happening. Anyway, we're going to go and take a commercial break and we'll be back just now with Nkazimulo Zuma.
Okay, let's cut. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to State of Africa, where I'm sitting here with Nkazimulo Zuma and we're just talking about her special calling. So Nkazi, I want to know, what does this role entail?
Okay, so basically, when I found out, the first thing to do would be to go through some sort of initiation where, where I learn everything that I have to do when I'm a Sangoma under another Sangoma.
Okay.
Because they've been through all of me, basically all of this. I'm not sure how long it usually takes, but I have to go through the initiation. And basically, when you become a Sangoma, you're like a service provider.
Okay.
Offering services to people. They come to you for consultations, and basically, you help them resolve whatever issue they have and help them to connect to the ancestors. To relate whatever messages that the ancestors may have to them, for them.
Okay, so it's a consultation.
Yes.
So if I want to speak to my dead mother, can I come to you?
Well, I guess so.
Wow. Wow, that's a huge responsibility.
It really is.
Okay, so now you're studying. You're going to be this scientist, I guess, which is already in conflict of your calling. So what are you going to do? You have to like get a job, work in the field that you're studying in right now, and you'd also have to be a Sangoma at one point. You're going to be one eventually.
Yeah.
So how is that going to work?
Okay, well, in this century and day and age, most Sangomas, I guess they're able to juggle work and being a Sangoma, but most of the time, from what I do know is that it actually wants your special attention for you to be really focused on it. So that is why most people just focus on it and then they quit their job or whatever side piece work that they were doing just to focus on this.
Which means you're studying for nothing.
Not exactly. As I said, I'm really trying not to think about it. I'm really hoping that at some point it will kind of fade away. I do not know how, so that I can actually go and get a job. But
do you think your church might be able to save you from this? Like maybe if you pray about it at church and...
I really do believe that maybe if I do pray about it, it will go away. But then, as I said again, my church and religion is very, very traditional. So maybe at some point it will still honestly lead me back to square one.
Wow. Have you heard of anyone who declined their calling and what happened to them?
Well, I would take my mom for instance.
Oh, your mom had a calling too?
Yes.
Is she practicing right now?
No, she's not.
Oh,
what
okay.
happened is that most of the time it passed down from generation to generation.
Okay.
My mom was supposed to be a single, but then she declined, and I guess she survived it.
Oh, wow.
And
so it's possible.
As a result of that, it was passed on to me.
Oh.
And when she declined, it's not that her life was easy. No, she did go through a lot just because she declined.
What kind of stuff did she go through?
It was not easy. It's just really a series of bad luck that's going to follow your way until you eventually accept it. Yeah. So it was passed on to me, like everything that happened back then with our great-great-grandparents, it really just falls onto you, and you need to take on this huge responsibility and resolve whatever conflicts they had back then and make sure that everything just is in peace again.
Do you understand the stigma that's surrounding being a traditional healer or a Sangoma, for instance, and the way us as Africans look at it and be like, that's not cool, that's evil, that's something bad?
I do understand. Since I have the calling, I just really also feel like people are not acknowledged about this.
They're not educated.
They're not educated about it. Yeah, that's what I honestly perceive. But I really do understand because I'm going through it.
Yeah, because I would have never expected an educated person to be a sangoma, for an instance. It's always that thing that it's the less educated ones, it's the ones that are trying to make a living, because you charge, right, for consultations. So, yeah, most of the times it's just like, oh, it's the dumb ones. And I've always thought that it's something that you decide that you want to do.
Not at all. I don't think that anyone who's ever decided, no, I want to be a, not unless, they're just trying their luck and trying to scam people out of their money. Then they can decide. But obviously, whatever they tell you won't be true. It will be something they're making up.
You said you're a traditional family. Coming from that family, do you feel like if you had grown up in another family, you would have understood tradition the way you understand it now?
It would depend on the other family that I'm born into. But tradition is quite an interesting thing. It is very interesting despite everything it puts us through. But I guess I prefer things the way they are. Despite it all, I just still really love tradition in my culture.
What role does the ancestors play in your life?
Spiritual guidance, I guess.
So while
despite everything they put us through, we also really do believe that they protect us.
And you appreciate them?
Yes, we really do. Because every time someone dies or passes away in the family, they become an ancestor.
Oh.
So you can imagine that if you had a really good relationship with that person, they're always going to be on your side, protecting you from everything. So we have religion and then we have the ancestors. So we're thankful for both.
You said you go to church, you read the Bible, and yet in the Bible it actually says that do not provoke the dead, do not call on the dead. So I'm just trying to understand, like, how do you do that? The Bible says no. I remember, I think one of the prophets in the Bible tried calling on someone who passed away, and then it was a bad thing, bad luck.
I would say that's different. You're not exactly provoking them. And most of the time, they are the ones who, most of the time when they're trying to get into contact with you, they come in a dream. So we just don't go to them. Most of the time, they contact us first, and then we have to focus on whatever it is that they're saying.
Okay, but then when you have a problem, you also speak to them.
Yes, when you do have a problem, you also speak to them. The ancestors and us people, I'd say we have a good relationship. We all really dependent on each other. They are dependent on us to solve their problems. We're dependent on them to.
So you don't believe that when someone dies, they're actually dead?
No,
There's nothing?
Not at all. It's never the case.
And you can't communicate with them?
No, we know that you can be at home and just start talking to someone who died. You know they're listening, they're there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know, when my mother passed away, I had this prophetess. Okay, she wasn't a traditional prophet, like a church prophetess, who was giving me some spiritual guidance. Then I dreamt about my mom, and then I told her, and she was like, nope, that is not good. It's bad spirits. What a not. Pray that you do not dream about your mom. And in my head, I'm thinking, my mom loved me. How can she be banned now that she's dead?
Exactly. If you had a really good relationship, especially with someone, that's how they contact us most of the time. They come through our dreams, and we always really welcoming, because especially if a person recently died and then they come, it's usually really nice to see them again, because you know that they
I really felt good when I woke up. I was like, oh my God, I dreamt that I was speaking to my mom. And then she called me, hi, how are you doing, what and what. I was like, oh, I dreamt about my mom. She was like, no. Midnight prayers. You shouldn't be dreaming about the dead.
Most of the time, religion and tradition clashes. but my religion welcomes tradition, so.
But you
that's
still read the Bible.
why.
All right, we'll have to wrap this up. Thank you very much, Nkazimulo, for sitting with us on State of Africa. I think there are a lot of young people that are going through the same. And I think there's a lot of conflict with religion today in Africa, whereby we just don't know where we are going, what is going on, who to believe in, what to believe. It's like we are just mixed up, we are messed up as well. So it was really, really nice to have you here. I wish you all the best in everything. Like really, I would really love to know what you're doing 10 years from now and where you are. I wouldn't mind coming for a consultation. I'm not a traditional person, but I'll come for you just to see how you're doing. And I hope you finish your degree and get that job that you want to get, or whichever way you decide to go, really. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for coming and chatting to us. This is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.